CSS3 Part 2. So here we are going to learn 2D transformation, 3D transformation, transitions, animation, resizing, outline, and media queries. So let's talk about 2D transformation. So it does support translate X and translate Y, and rotate, scale X and scale X and scale Y, skew X and Y, and matrix. Okay, so basically, the transform, and you specify rotate 30 degrees. So here you can actually try the transformation. So you change the value, and this is what you're going to see. So let's take a look at the exercise 11 here, 2D transformation. So here you can try here, and transformation, transform, and scale, rotate. Yeah, so you can actually try different values. Okay, so I'm gonna let you do that. This is rotate. Yeah, so this is rotate. So basically rotate 30 degrees. And this one is 2D rotate 2. Okay. Yeah. So again, rotate 30 degrees. And basically I have iframe going to jpassion.com. Okay, so so this rotate is applied to any div element. Okay, and this one is 2D transformation translate. So it's we want to move this guy to over here. Okay, so here. Yeah, so this one is moved over here. So both original and the destination are being displayed. Okay, right. Yeah, so this is div 1 and div 2. And yeah, so rectangle at original transformation and rectangle and translated transformation. Okay. Okay, so that is 2D transformation. 3D transformation. So concept of 3D is basically based on perspective. Okay, so to activate 3D space, an element needs a perspective. That makes sense? So the value of a perspective determines the intensity of 3D effect. Okay, so you can think of this value of perspective as a distance from the viewer to the object. So the greater the value is, the further the distance, so the less intense the visual effect. So this is the case that we have a perspective of 150. This is perspective 100, perspective value of 400, and this is 1500. Okay, that makes sense, right? Perspective can be specified in two different ways. So you can use transform the attribute and then specify perspective, or you can just use a perspective like this. Concept of 3D, and then you can also have a perspective origin. So the default is the center. So what you have seen here is that we are actually looking at from the center, but you can change that position of the view as well. Okay, so this is a perspective. So depending on the point of view, a different perspective will be set. So here, okay, let's not at the link. Yeah, so you're gonna actually try this one in the lab. 3D transformation methods: translate, rotate, scale, perspective, and in this case, matrix 3D. Okay. So 3D translate. So translate X positions the element on horizontal. Actually, this one should be actually vertical, the y-axis. And translate Z is going to actually front to back and back to front. Okay, so this is the case. Translate Z 300 pixels. So we actually moving. It's actually coming to the front. This is actually moved to back. Okay, So positive values position the element close to the viewer, negative value further away. So this is what you are going to see. 3D rotate. So 3D rotate functions rotate the element around the corresponding axis. So this is the case that we are rotating against around the X. This is for Y in the middle, and this is for Z. Okay. All right, so that's exercise 12. So here we are trying perspective 150, and this is perspective 400, and this is perspective the 1500. Okay, and again you can see the code. Okay, so this is 150 case, and the other one is actually just keep changing the values to 400 and the 1500. Perspective origin. So here, this is what we are going to see. Okay, so depending on the perspective, yeah, things could be different. Okay, toggle spinning. Yeah, so we're gonna just stop the spinning, and then we can just try. Yes. Okay. All right. That is perspective origin, and we just did that. And 3D transform, 3D translate. Okay, so we're actually moving to the X 100 to the right. This one is Y. Okay, and this one is positive 300. Okay, and this one is negative 200. Okay, and this is a 3D rotate. So rotate against X, rotate against Y, rotate against Z. Okay, yeah, so pretty straightforward. And 3D scale. So this is let's see how that works. Scale. Okay. Yeah, 3D scale. Z. Okay. Let me finish up the presentation. I'm gonna actually go to the transition, then I'll give you guys some time to do exercises. Transition. So transitions are effects that let an element gradually change from one style to the other. So no need to use a Flash animation or JavaScript. Okay. So here, basically we are transitioning the background color. Yeah. So basically, this is the destination of the transition. This is the result of the transition, and we want to do that in 2 seconds. Okay. This is actually happening when you do hovering. So let's actually try that in the lab. So you can try the transition here. All right, so let's exercise 3. So we are going to try the transitions with the CS generator. Transition. Property. Okay, height, duration, 2 seconds, and seconds, function, linear. Okay, so this is what happens. Okay, so that is a transition, and this one transition triggered by hovering example. So that was actually pretty much the same, yeah. So it happens only when you're hovering it, okay? And so that's what you see. So that's why we have hover here. So this is the another hovering example. So click this guy. If you hover, yeah, it's just changing. Okay. And again, we have our, the background is changing, and border radius is also changing as well. Okay, so pretty straightforward. Okay, so I'm gonna let you guys about 10 minutes to try the exercises up to exercise 13. Okay, so let's move on. So next one is animation. So we just the transition, right? So we are gonna move on to animation. So animation is an effect that lets an element gradually change from one style to the other, and you can change as many styles you want, as many times you want. So you can specify the change will happen in percent, or the keywords from and to, which is the same as 0%, 100%. So 0% is the beginning of the animation, and 100% is when the animation is complete. So best browser support, you should always define both 0% and 100% selectors. Okay, so to create animation in CSS3, you are going to use add keyframes rule. Okay, so basically, here we are going to we're going to apply this H1 with a slide in animation, and then we are defining this animation with the keyframes, and then that's the name of the animation, slide in, which is used here, and this is from and to. So we're starting from margin left 100% and width 300% to margin left 0%, 100%. So basically, we are moving this H1 from here to here. Okay. Animation properties. So you can certainly have a different type of properties. Duration, timing function, and linear. Timing function could be linear, and I think there are a couple of others. And delay, iteration, and direction, place date, and things like that. Okay, so here you can try animation. So we are going to try in the hands-on lab. All right, so that's 14. So we're going to try this guy. And view animation. Okay, and you can certainly change things around. Okay. And this one, we are going to color box will, so you can see the color of the boxes keep changing from red, green. So you are using 3 times. So we are using animation for that. And so again, we are basically changing the div element. So this is change color, and this is from. We are changing from red to yellow, and then red to, oh, okay, so this is for Safari and Chrome. Okay, so okay, so that is changing background. This one is moving text. So this is what we have seen in the slide. Okay, so this is what gets what supposed to happen. All right, so basically same logic. So from and to. Okay. Okay, moving forward. And resizing. Resizing in CSS3, the resize property specifies whether or not an element should be resizable by the user. So when you say resize both, then it should be able to resizable in both horizontally and vertically. Okay. So you can try using CSS generator. Okay, so that is 15. So yeah, you can try both. You can try just vertical, horizontal. And this is box resizing. So you should be able to resize both. Okay. And so we say resize both. And outline and outline offset. So outlines have been extended in CSS3 to include the outline offset property. This allows the offset to be rendered away from the edge of the specified element. Okay, so let's see an example of this. Okay, yeah, so this is basically outline you can have. Okay, this dotted outline, dotted outline. Okay, okay, so that's 16. So that's basically what you're gonna try. Okay, so basically the thickness, outline style, and color. Okay, and this one is dotted line. And so we're using outline and outline offset. Okay, so that is outline and media queries. So media queries allows us to change our layouts to suit the exact need of different devices using just the CSS without changing the content and without the need of JavaScript code. Okay, so this is actually quite useful. So these are media types defined in CSS 2.1. So all devices is all screen for color computer screens, print for print material, handheld for handheld devices, TV and Braille and projection and TTY. So basically, these are media types. This is possible in CSS3. More media types probably have been defined. Okay, and then you can actually specify the media for screen, and the minimum width is 900 pixels. Then I want to use this. Okay, and this one is for screen, and so max width is 600 pixels. So depending on the size of the devices, I am applying different CSS style. That makes sense, right? Okay. So this is the media query diagnostic tool. So basically, it lets you know what is the, yeah, so we can actually try that. Okay, so that's exercise 17. So here, experiment with the media query diagnostic tool. So basically, it tests your browser, okay, to see whether all these things are being supported on your particular device, in this case, my browser. Okay. And here, use media query. So depending on, so let's try this. So this box will turn pink if the viewing area is less than 600 pixels. So let me just make it really small. Yeah, see, it changed to 600. It's smaller than 600 pixel, so it changed the color. Now we are changing. So depending on the size of the viewing area, different style will be applied. Okay, so that's basically the exercise. All right. Okay, so that's the end of the presentation. So I'm going to give you guys about 10 minutes to try this